Hi everybody, it's Vanessa Bartlett here with you today, and I'm pretty excited because we have a really amazing guest today on to interview, and this is Kerry Denton. She's actually an international speaker, author and expert on finding that inner motivation and creating positive energy for your life, which I know is something that is super important to people these days, trying to find that balance within your life. So welcome along today, Kerry, and it's great to be with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa, and the opportunity. It's wonderful to be here with you too.
Thank you. Now, look, I'd love to just, if you could share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what makes you so passionate about this. How did you get started in this particular field? A bit about yourself and yeah, what you kind of do.
Okay, well, I have over 20 years of experience working in the healthcare sector. I started off working in patient and clinical care. However, as I went on in my career, I developed a passion of learning a lot more about how your behaviour and thoughts actually can influence your health outcome. I specialise in health education and preventative healthcare, and I don't believe that you can have physical health without the mental health. I believe in a holistic combination of them all, making up what holistic health is. And that, of course, is, you know, encompassing your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual. And when I say spiritual, that doesn't necessarily mean your religion. Spiritual can be you at the beach drawing energy from the ocean. It can be nature, it can be animals, it can be anything. And also your intellectual health, which could be just keeping your mind and brain active by reading a magazine of your choice or anything. So when you put them all together, you're making up an entire component of what holistic health actually is. I decided that I really wanted to delve into mental and emotional health with my preventative healthcare practice and focus on educating people as to the whys and the meaning of everything behind it, so they're more likely to want to participate and look after their health better. So I have been a health professional, and then a few years ago I saw what it was like to be on the other side. I was extremely fit and healthy, and I became very, very sick, and I completely changed. I had basically overnight no energy. Over a period of time, I lost all my confidence, I lost my self-esteem, I lost all my passion, I lost everything. And I was under a cardiologist, and I was under an allergy specialist. I had liver disease, I had heart disease, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with me. And I was looking at a very limited lifespan. The only way that I felt that I could dig deep and keep going was to unleash what I call my inner fighting spirit and work on my positive energy, which had completely been zapped. So that's why I then wrote my book about a process that actually helped me find my inner fighting spirit, which led me to wanting to mentor and spread my success of getting better out to others. So that's what really got me started with my own business of Motivation to Conquer.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. What a great story. I suppose when you're in that situation, you are faced with that kind of decision. It sounds like you made a really conscious decision to go, well, I can either, you know, give up and kind of let myself go. But like you said, you dug deep to really find that inner strength and everything to keep going. So it sounds quite amazing what you've done. And I'd really love to explore that a little bit with you right now. So can you tell us what your idea is, or, you know, this whole premise of positive energy and how we can use that in our life? You know, with everyone being so stressed and busy, positive energy, I think, can kind of be taken like, you know, is it just positive thinking? What is this deeper inner spirit or inner fighting strength? What is that? And what do you believe positive energy to be for us?
Yeah, well, exactly what you just said, Vanessa. Having positive energy is so much more than just putting out a positive thought and you think positive, okay, I'm going to set this goal and just think positively and voila, it's going to happen. No, that's not the case. Positive energy is based on holistic healthcare, and I explain it by having 8 steps to achieving and then maintaining positive energy. The first one being, it's all about what you eat. It's all about how much exercise for the energy that goes through the body that you put out there. It's about how much sleep you have. It's about how good you are to yourself and to others. It's all about how you handle stress. It's about how grateful that you are for everything in your life that is positive. It's also about your posture and your body language. Even that is taken into account. And of course, the big one, your mental mindset. Yeah. So if you incorporate all those steps into your life and you want to set a goal and maintain your motivation to achieve your goal, you are most likely to succeed if you take care of and implement all of those steps into your life. How you incorporate that into our busy lives, like throughout the, look, everybody is busy, from stay-at-home mums who are on off their feet to people that work 9 to 5 to people that work night shift. We are all very, very busy, but we can always take just a couple of minutes here and there to just check in with ourselves and raise awareness about where you're at the time. Take some deep breaths and just recenter and focus on maintaining that positive energy about you.
Yeah. And it sounds like that's the key here. It's not kind of, you know, one massive solution that's going to fix everything. It's that daily and weekly check-in, like you said, of seeing, actually tuning into yourself a lot more, which sometimes we're so tuned into everything else, aren't we? With
outside,
so much stimulation. Yeah, we
exactly.
Much of ourselves. I feel exactly the same, and it's so interesting that you're explaining it this way. I just did a quick video yesterday on my Instagram talking about how to stay more energetic and mentioning those things. So it's so wonderful that we're on the same path with it's on the same page with this. Now, I'd love to ask you. You're an expert in motivation as well, and you know, as you just mentioned, people can kind of set goals and then lose motivation, whether it's for health or weight loss or a career goal. Goals are essentially, you know, the same thing. I'd love your thoughts on how can people stay more consistent. This is something I've come up with year after year in fitness industry. People go up and down with fitness goals, as you know. They start, they stop. Look, I, you know, lose track sometimes as well mentally. What's something people can do to really stay on track with achieving specifically health and fitness goals?
Yes, this is like the golden ticket of achieving your goals. Every day we have motivation in good things, that, okay, we want to watch this reality TV show tonight. We're motivated to do that because that's exciting. We aren't motivated to go to work because we see we're going to sit in the traffic. Motivation is like what drives you, what's going to keep you passionate and excited about everything. And like, first and foremost, none of us are machines. If we were all motivated every single day and we're on a high all the time, that's just not reality. Every day we're either going to be more motivated or we're going to feel like we need to just take a step back, and that's okay too. But if you say you want to go and set very specific goals for your health and fitness, why? You know, the big question, why? What is it that you want to achieve, and why do you want to achieve it? And your whys is what is going to fuel your passion for your motivation. So when your motivation begins to slide down that slippery bit, you go back to your whys. Why I started this, why am I doing this? And look at the bigger picture. What am I going to get out of it? And that starts to excite you again. You also do need to put in what I call safety net plans. What you can do if your motivation's not there, and say you're training for a competition, like my sport was equestrian, which horses take up so much of your time. You're not only training, they're training. And the bigger picture was, we're going to improve on ourselves all the time. We're not going to improve if we don't train. So my whys was always there. And it's also the mental chatter that goes on in your head, you know, your right brain saying, oh, I'd rather stay on the lounge and watch that reality show. And sorry, the left one is saying that, and your right one is saying, no, get to the gym. Even if you just do a little bit, it's better than nothing. So trying to take ownership of your thoughts also is a big thing in remaining motivated. And that's where you learn the art of achieving your self-talk, you know, affirmations all the time. Find affirmations that is going to trigger an emotional response. Affirmations need to be so much more than, I will go to the gym tonight. You've got to say it with passion, and you've got to feel it. So if the more you say that, the more momentum they gain, the more powerful they are. So when you're on a bit of a slider, you start your self-talk with your affirmations. There's also a lot of tools that you can learn, you know, such as your visualization tools, where you visualize yourself literally going and doing that, and you can get a lot of energy back from visualizing.
Yeah.
So if you look at particular strategies to help push you back up when your motivation begins to slide, that can be really, really powerful.
That's great. So to sum that up as well for people, before we go into the next question, so motivation really is something that you've got to check in with, you know, daily, weekly. We will go through ebbs and flows with it, but the big picture is essentially what people need to keep looking towards with health and fitness, because it's something that you do for 30 days. This is the whole problem with, you know, short challenges, I suppose. It's people go challenge after, okay, what's the next challenge? What's the next best diet? What's the next best thing? Well, it's lifestyle change, and it's ingraining habits. So that big picture, yeah. So big picture, visualizing, and just checking in with yourself and being realistic too. So that's fantastic.
And also being kind to yourself by allowing yourself to not feel that you're losing sight and you're setting yourself up to fail if your motivation is sliding, because that's going to feed more into the negative motivation and bring you down. Be kind to yourself and know that, yes, we're all humans, and we're not always going to be this bundle energizer bunny running around. That it is okay to have, you know, the slower days, but never lose sight of the bigger picture, as you say. That's exactly correct.
Being kind to yourself. I think that's a big thing. We have this pressure, this underlying pressure. People think they're not under pressure, but I think we all are, just inadvertently, by social media and society and expectation and the pace of everything, to go, oh, well, I have to do this so many days. And, you know, even I saw a couple of clients this week, and, you know, they were tired and legitimately, you know, going, and I said, have a few days off. It's not going to affect everything, because you are being consistent. You're not lazy by any means, but if you physically feel you need a recharge and 3-4 days off,
listen to your body.
Absolutely. Okay, that's good to know as well. So definitely listening to your body. All right. So in moving on then, what does it mean? How can we, I suppose, shift our mindset or thought patterns, you know, specifically from goal setting? I suppose it kind of ties in with that, and also positive energy, but, you know, mindset's a big buzzword these days. How do we change into a better mindset if we have fallen into that slump, or feeling a little bit down in life, or feeling like we're not achieving, you know, we're not where we want to be? How can we kind of pull out of that for those who are feeling a bit down, maybe a bit depressed and things?
Well, having a shift in your mindset means that you're regrouping and you're refocusing. You focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. So say someone is a smoker, they know it's really bad for their health, yet they enjoy it. They see it as relaxing. It's a social thing. They actually enjoy it, but they know it's really going to make a major impact on their health long term. So deep down, yes, they do want to give up smoking. So they start to look at all the bad, negative things about smoking and then swap it over and start looking at all the positive benefits of giving up smoking. And then that way they're looking at what they want, and then they've got to put in a very tight safety net plan, because what are they going to do every time they get a craving? They need to have a plan on what they're going to do. Here again, it gets back to learning about specific tools. I have one that I use, and that I used when I was really, really sick, and that is called an anchor. And an anchor is like a feeling tool. So say, for instance, a smoker wants to have a cigarette. Instead of going and having a cigarette, they have a touch. It can be pinching themselves, it can be hitting themselves on the thigh lightly. My anchor is the fist. And when I was really wanting to stay in bed and give up, I would just use my fist and say, come on, Kerry, get up and get going. So a smoker can use that every time they want to have a cigarette. They visualise the health benefits, they use the touch for the feeling, and they add in the self-talk. I will not give in. I want to be healthy. So all of this is a shift from the negative and putting yourself into the positive by focusing more on what you want. And it's like forming a new habit. It gains more power and gets better and better the more you do it. So you need to accept that challenges such as that is very, very hard. And the repeating motion of the anchor will help get you stronger and allow yourself the time to go through the process. And as I said, anchoring is only one tool. There's other tools and strategies that can help you, but the shift comes over time. It's not another thing where you just wake up and think, I'm going to shift my entire attitude to the positive. No, like anything else, you need to work at it, and you need to know you have to repeat over and over and over, and you need to know that it's going to take time, but in the end you can get there if you just keep focusing on what you want.
Yeah, that's a really good differentiation too. I think sometimes when we lose or we're in a bit of a rut, that's when the negative creeps in, and it's really hard to pull out of that and get into that, okay, well, hang on a sec, what's the big picture? What do I want? Not what I don't want. So you keep training our minds to stay on the positive, not the positive thinking, but the positive thoughts, as in what you do want, like you said, instead of what you don't want, which is in the negative. That's a really big thing, and I think very helpful for people to know, because that's kind of the question. Sorry, Kerry, go ahead.
It's also why vision boards work so well,
yeah,
because you're bringing that dream or that goal to life, and you're reading that, if you put it in your bedroom, first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. So it is always keeping your focus at the front of your mind. So when it's not always there, focusing on what you want, it starts to slip back at the back of your mind, and that's when you start to go down that slippery dip.
Right. And that's important too, because I think sometimes with vision, when you say to people, do a vision board, put up pictures of what you want in your life, etc. Some people are all on board with it. Some people question it and go, oh, what is this rubbish? There's always that skepticism towards the word visualization, right? But I know there's actually science behind it too. Do you know kind of anything about that? Could you explain a little bit behind, well, what is the power of having, say, that vision board for lifestyle goals, of some description?
Yes, I myself have never had a vision board. I do know it helps a lot of my clients, but I do know that the power of visualizing something can really help achieve your goals. It is bringing it to life. You're playing it out inside your mind, and you're putting energy into that, and it's going to keep you pulled towards that. So visualization is incredibly powerful, and the beauty of the mind, you can see anything you want in your mind. You know, if you're focused on not smoking, you can see yourself jogging along the beach, breathing the fresh air, and you're starting to feel excited and passionate. Yes, I'm not going to smoke. I like this feeling. So the power of visualization, whether it is a vision board, whether it's your journal that you carry around in your handbag, anywhere, anything, just pull it up and it can really, really help you. And there has been a lot of scientific research produced over the power of visualization. Even a form of self-hypnosis is based on the art form of visualization and self-talk. So there has been a lot of data come out about it.
Yeah.
But I can only speak for myself. I visualized myself finding the cause of my problems and getting better. When I visualized it, I added my anchor and I added my self-talk and my own affirmation, which was, I am so motivated to conquer my health.
Yep.
It's going to happen. And against the doctors telling me I was in big trouble, it happened. Hence why I called my business Motivation to Conquer.
I love it. That's fantastic. So on that affirmation, talk about affirmations. For example, how could someone set a good affirmation? Like you said, it's not just about I'm going to do an exercise class. That's not it. How could we formulate a basic, one affirmation for someone who wants to get healthier again and feel strong in their body, for example? What would be words?
An affirmation is extremely personal and unique. So it needs to be something that you yourself come up with. Like, you can look at many, many affirmations and think, oh, that one really gelled. Like mine was, I'm getting better and better, stronger and stronger every single day. I have enormous capacity for my own self-healing. I made up all these affirmations that related to me that would work. So when you want an affirmation to really help you, it's got to be born out of your own feelings. But there's so many affirmations. There's Google, and you can get so many inspirational sayings, and one of them might gel with you. I am strong, I am beautiful. If you're really, really stressed, I am calm, and see yourself literally calming down. You can use colours if that helps you. You can just throughout the day think of anything like, I am so much stronger than I was yesterday. Affirmations can only really be written by yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's a good point to make too. So best advice would be to think about what it is you want and come up with something that resonates with you, essentially. Yeah, that's really good. All right, well then what's the next question here? It's how can we, I suppose it's quite a general question, how can we stay more mindful and healthy today? I think we've covered a lot of that. I suppose the real question is, how can we stay more emotionally and mentally healthy? Because the physical health, from what I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years in health and fitness, it is this shift away where people, of course, weight loss is still a big goal for people, physical strength and aesthetics and things, but it's more so that like people come to me and go, oh, I just want to feel good within myself, I just want to be stress free again. So it's kind of like the mental and emotional health is taking preference on people's priority list to go, well, if I can master that and feel good and feel like I'm thriving every day, then second of all, then I'll worry about my weight, my fitness and so forth. I just want to feel good and get by in busy life. So how can we stay more mentally and emotionally healthy and manage that stress? What's maybe a few tips that we could do daily or weekly?
And it's important to also note, a lot of physical illnesses are a side product of being stressed or being depressed. So mental and emotional health is just so, so important. I can never emphasize enough on how important it is to look after your mental and emotional health. Mental being what your thought processes are, and your emotional health is, you know, how you feel. So stress is, you know, we cannot see stress, but we sure do feel it. And it can build up to a point where you're not going to cope unless you get some help. If you ever feel like you are that stressed, please reach out, go to your doctor, go to, you know, your parents, go to someone and talk and say, I've reached a point where I need help. One of the biggest benefits of managing stress is, you know, getting back to the breathing and relaxation and putting things into perspective. They're my biggest tips. You know, there's so much stress that we have that we can't control, and there's stress that we can control. And one of the ways we can control is putting things into perspective and getting back to that, looking at the bigger picture. You know, is it really that bad if, you know, you don't go and do that? Is it really that bad if that happens? You know, do your deep breathing. That can really calm and center yourself, and take the time out. Go and have coffee with your friend. You know, go for that walk, breathing in the fresh air. Everybody can do that. Everybody's got an outside. Just the simple little things, even having the bath at night with your, you know, your favorite music and the candles, and just 10 minutes even a day can really help with combating your stress. And, you know, mindfulness, you know, is an art of meditation as well. And meditation is a form of visualizing and feeling and your breathing. So learn some techniques. There are some very basic techniques that can really help. And if you can find half an hour a night to eat your dinner or whatever, you can find 10 minutes a day to just do something like that. But the biggest message is you don't need to reach a point where you feel so alone. Reach out for someone to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, you know, when I had the adrenal fatigue, the biggest thing I learned was to work on not, again, it wasn't about the physical stuff. I just wanted to feel like I had energy again because it was so lethargic, but it was getting in tune with emotional, mental health and looking at what drained my energy and looking at stress reduction tips and going, how can I become more efficient in my day so that I can minimize my energy output and still get what I need out of things? Because I think sometimes we all give so much. I know busy women, busy mums, dads, busy parents, you know, everyone gives a lot to others at work. You're always doing your energy output. So, and then the interesting thing, Kerry, is then people can sometimes feel guilty about taking that 10 minutes or 30 minutes a day to have a bath. Like the amount of discussions I've had with people on the internet and then also in my classes going, but I feel bad, like I can't take 15 minutes. Like it is not even like allowed in their psyche now because we've been so programmed to go, no, you have to keep giving and giving and giving. But oh my gosh, don't you dare take that 20 minutes for yourself because the world will fall apart. You know, it's bizarre. So how can we also remove that guilt about taking some time?
Remove that guilt by using your self-talk and saying that self-worth is everything to me. I am worth and I deserve to have that 10 minutes to myself. And I'm going to feel so much more better and be able to be there for others and achieve more later if I take that step back, accept that I deserve this, it's my time, and you do it. So again, it's being kind to yourself and accepting that you deserve to have rest time as much as anybody else. And you know, that self-love, that self-care, everything is going to help you to give more into your days if you do that. And yes, it gets back to self-love. Love yourself, you deserve that. Do that.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's the big thing here, isn't it? Having enough self-worth and enough self-love to go, heck yes, I deserve 30 minutes a day minimum to do whatever it is that makes me happy. So that's fantastic. Look, I think we could talk about this big topic all day. I think I absolutely love chatting to you. You know so much about this, and it's amazing information. I'd love now just to sum it up, and feel free to add any points that you think I may have missed. Okay, so I've kind of written down here, we've got to check in, okay, with our motivation weekly, daily, and think about that big picture. All right, then we've got to have that safety net and know that it's okay to have some crap days and some days where you're not always going for it, and that's all right. Taking ownership of your thoughts and not playing the victim as well. So just knowing that, okay, I may have had this thought, it's all right, I can let it go, move on. Stay in perspective, look at the bigger picture, take 10 minutes a day for stress reduction, whatever that means for you. And being kind enough to yourself and having that self-care to know that, you know, motivation and energy will go up and down, but as long as you're taking care of yourself, you can give more to others. Would you like to add any more into that, or
well, it is being mindfulness and positive psychology, you know, it's being taken a lot more seriously now, that the impact that it has on your health. Harvard has recently released a report which they have called "Happy Actually Makes You Healthy," and that's very, very interesting, and it encompasses everything that we've talked about, and it all gets back to self-care, self-responsibility, self-love, and putting in strategies and looking at positive energy in a holistic way that can really make a huge difference in your life. Yes, so thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
You covered it perfectly.
Fantastic. Well, it's amazing. I love this stuff, and I know you love this as well. And
I do.
I'd really love to do another interview with you soon, so we'll organise that.
Yeah.
And I'll invite, you know, our audience to, you know, post any questions on this. I'll be doing.
That'd be good. Yes, I love questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and everyone.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Vanessa.
You are very welcome, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.